Last night I dreamed that my younger brother and I had tickets to see Louis C.K. perform stand-up. And it was the night of his show, so we grabbed our tickets, hopped in this large van, and started driving toward the venue, wherever it was. And I remember we're driving in this very long tunnel, and just a few minutes into our drive, the van stalls. We get out, we open the hood, my brother tries repeatedly to get it to start again, but we just can't get the thing to turn over. So we flag down a passing motorist, and they pull over, and we explain to them, look, we've got tickets to go see Louis C.K., this van's not going to start. Will you take us there? And the guy gets out of his car, and he says, oh, that's okay. I mean, you guys can just take the car. I'll just go ahead and walk, to where I'm going. It's not really a big deal. I mean, go see Louis C.K. And so we're like, okay, all right, yeah, we'll bring your car back, I promise. And we get in, start driving, and we're still just in amazement over how generous this guy was. And we're also kind of wondering, well, I don't know, that was just weird. We were trying to figure out why he did that. Maybe, then it occurs to us, maybe it's a stolen vehicle, and he knows the cops are on his tail, and he'd rather have somebody else picked up in it. But anyways, we're driving just a few more minutes here, and then this car breaks down. We're like, oh, gosh, shit, I can't believe this. We, pull over to the side as this thing's just puttering out. Do what we did before, lift up the hood, see if, we can spot anything, and, my brother tries a couple more times to start it back up, and of course it doesn't start. So, I look to my left, and I notice that there's a small vehicle that's moving kind of slowly in the right lane. This tunnel's just 2 lanes of opposing traffic here, and I say to my brother, well, you know what, maybe I can catch up to this guy who's he's like driving at idle speed here. So my brother and I both, we run up beside this vehicle that's moving so slowly, and the vehicle just comes to a stop. And driver's side door opens, and Joe Louis gets out. The former heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Louis, gets out, and he looked like he was in his elder years. He looked like, I would guess he was about 65 or 70 at this time. He gets out, and he's got a styrofoam container with some takeout food, and he puts it on the hood of his little vehicle, and without saying a word to us, he opens the back hatch of his little vehicle, and he pulls out a folding table and sets it up right there in the right lane of this tunnel, and he lays a tablecloth over the little folding table and puts his styrofoam container of takeout food on the table. And I'm kind of worried that somebody's just going to plow into him while he's eating here in the right lane of this tunnel. But then I think about it, well, he's got his vehicle parked pretty close to him, so anybody that's coming down the tunnel is going to have to at least swerve around that vehicle, and they're probably not going to get back in the right lane and kill him while he's eating. So, and then finally, we're explaining to him the whole time that he's setting up this table that, like, sir, Mr. Louis, we've got tickets to see Louis C.K. Do you think is it all possible that you could give us a ride to this venue? And he's not saying a word to us. And then finally, when he opens up his styrofoam container of pasta, he says, boy, I sure hope you young men aren't going to ask me for any favors. I hope you're not going to ask me to do anything for you right now, because I've got my favorite pasta in the world here. They do it up right at this place, and they got it right this time, and I just want to sit here in this tunnel and eat my pasta in peace. So I hope you're not going to ask me to do you any favors. Of course, we already have. And my brother starts talking to him about something completely unrelated to Louis C.K. or pasta, and Joe's just intrigued. I mean, he gets up for a moment, he puts his napkin on the table, and he just starts talking to Dave like the way that a very elderly person would talk about the good old days or something. I mean, he's just, totally distracted here, and as Joe got up, I had to try his pasta. You know, I just, his pasta that he was raving about, I had to see if it was as good as he said, and God, it was the worst. It was spaghetti, but it was the worst spaghetti I've ever tried in my life. I mean, it was terrible. It was, first of all, it was overcooked. I mean, noodles were soft and slimy, and oh God, it was terrible. And the marinara sauce that it was in was just, it was only on like it was just, there was just this blob of spaghetti in the center in the styrofoam container, and the noodles were soft, slimy, overcooked, and the marinara sauce was just kind of like bunched up on one side of this spaghetti blob, and oh God, it was a terrible, terrible flavor. I just took like a couple of like spoonfuls when he wasn't looking. But eventually he, I guess because he, you know, got along with my brother so well, he did allow us to take his vehicle while he was eating his spaghetti to the Louis C.K. stand-up performance, and you know, we're just driving toward the venue, just thinking, God, I thought Joe Louis was dead, you know, and I was telling my brother how bad the spaghetti was, and my brother, he was just kind of thinking about the conversation they'd had. He was just deep in thought, and he didn't tell me what it was that they discussed, but I was just going on and on about the spaghetti and how crappy it was. But anyways, we eventually arrive at the venue where Louis C.K. is doing his stand-up, and it turns out it's my grandma's house. Pull up, we park, and I'm just, he's doing it at Grandma's house? Just doesn't seem like he's going to sell very many tickets doing it here. This isn't, I mean, it's a two-story house, but it's kind of, it's small. You know, I'm saying this to my brother. My brother's still not really doing much talking. He's thinking about his conversation with Joe Louis, and we walk up to the porch, and Louis C.K.'s just standing there. He's standing there, and he says, "Here, guys, come on in." And he opens the front door to my grandma's house, and he says to me, he's like, "You know, I got some suggestions in emails from fans that I should offer. I should offer like Louis C.K. packages, like fan appreciation gift packages, depending on the price range that they pay for tickets. And you guys, you know, there's two price ranges for tickets." He looks at our tickets and he says, "Okay, you guys got the bronze package. There's a gold package and a bronze package." And he's got these fan appreciation packages that he's made himself. He tells me, he's like, "You know, I had to go to a few stores myself and buy some of these DVDs. These are old stand-up specials of mine that I didn't even have copies of anymore, so I had to go to these different places and buy them myself. You know, I just want to let you guys know I really appreciate you coming out." So this is a really big night for him, you know. And, so we get our, he hands us our brown package, which is in this bronze package rather, which is in this like little black satchel, and he explains, "Yeah, I mean, the bronze package is almost as good as the gold package. You just get a few less stand-up specials on DVD. You get, like, you know, 70% of my stand-up material has been released on home video." And then after that, he got a phone call, and the phone call, I don't know what the person on the other end had told him, but apparently it was devastating news. He was really upset about what he'd heard, you know, and he clicks his cell phone shut, and he's just, you know, we asked him, like, "Is everything okay?" He's like, "Look, guys, just go inside, all right? I just need a minute here." And he stays out on my grandma's front porch, and he's just pacing back and forth, and he's just visibly upset. And I remember looking at him through my grandma's living room window, thinking, "Wow, this is really neat for fans that he's greeting them and that he's come up with this fan appreciation package, you know." But at the same time, I mean, for fans to see him in this frame of mind, this upset, it might really disturb them. And I was thinking, God, I should tell him to, like, just hang out in the basement until he can cool down a little bit. And yeah, eventually he did his show, and it was great, and we all laughed our asses off. And then I woke up.